Rumor has it.
Call out a name, or you gossiping, or you chatty patty.
I'm gossiping.
This is the Rumor Report.
I mean, I guess we on the Breakfast Club. This is where the tea spills, right?
Yes, on the Breakfast Club.
Now, yesterday, Snoop Dogg took part in a panel at the Milken Institute's 2023 Global Conference in Beverly Hills. Now,
that sounds fancy.
Yeah, they asked him a question about AI and the writer's strike, and Snoop just went off.
The use of AI by the studios to write scripts, let's say. Of course, Snoop, dying to know your thoughts on this.
Well, I got a motherfucking AI right now that they done made for me. This can talk to me. I'm like, man, this can hold a real conversation. Like, for real, like, it's blowing my mind because I watched movies on this as a kid years ago when I used to see this shit, and I'm like, what is going on? Then I heard the old dude that created AI talking about, this is not safe because the AI's got their own minds and these motherfuckers gonna start doing their own shit. I'm like, is we in a fucking movie right now or what?
Yes, we are.
So do I need to invest in the AI so I can have one with me? Or, like, do y'all know shit? What the?
It ain't a movie, dog. I keep telling y'all, man, mutually assured destruction. That is what AI is going to lead us to. I don't care what none of y'all say. And this whole writer's strike that's happening, one of the main things that, they pushed back on in regards to the writer's strike was the writers wanted to make sure that, these studios can't use AI to write things.
But not only that,
they pushed back on that. So that tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, not only that, Snoop was also talking about, we don't have any other audio Snoop, right? He also talks about how he was saying that, part of the strike is, he was saying, when a lot of these writers do these, writing these films or writing these scripts, they do it for major releases, major box office releases. So now when these movies go on these streaming services, how do they get paid?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons the writers are striking. One of the main reasons the writers are striking.
And Snoop Dogg was saying the same thing for a lot of rappers. He was like, how you a rapper and your music, streams 1 billion streams and you don't get nearly that much money. You don't even get a 10% of that money. And he was like, he's like, the math ain't math. And he
that's
was
not
like,
a new conversation.
No, but he was like, that's what he was saying. That's what he started bringing up in that panel. He was saying, back in the day, he's an artist. He said if his album was, $10 and he sold 1 million records, he made $10 million, and then it's broken down. He might make 20% of that and his label might make 20%. He's like, now they're just doing things and they're not paying the actual artist. So he was bringing all that up.
What else I don't understand about artificial intelligence? They talk about artificial intelligence is going to replace like 300 million jobs or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. So if you get rid of all the humans,
correct,
and the humans aren't working, right? Humans don't have any money. Mm-hmm. So even though you're cutting costs by having the artificial intelligence do the jobs, who's going to be able to buy products with no money?
Nobody.
What are we doing?
Nobody at all.
What are we doing, people?
Now, there's Snoop talking about what I just broke down with the streaming services.
It's exciting, but streaming got to get their together. Because I don't understand how the you get paid off of that can somebody explain to me how you can get 1 billion streams and not get $1 million? Like, that don't make sense to me. Because 1 + 1 ain't adding up to 2. That don't add up, and I have to say it because that's the main gripe with a lot of us artists is that we do major numbers with streams and this but it don't add up to the money. It's not being translated and it's not working for the artist right now, and I just want to speak to that in the music industry. Like, that's up, and we need to find a way to figure that out the same way the writers are figuring out. The writers are striking because streaming, they can't get paid. That somebody watched your movie, where's the money? And I know I'm going off a script right now, but it. This is business.
That's not AI, though. That's just a contract conversation, right? Mm-hmm. Artists got to negotiate better because it's not like people aren't making money off streaming. It's just not going into the artist's pockets. They're making money off streaming.
Right. Now, Jonathan Majors, he appeared in court for domestic violence yesterday. His attorney saying it's a witch hunt. Now, it was virtually... the DA provided more information about what they're charging him with. Now, previously, the complaint stated that Majors had allegedly struck the woman in her face with an open hand, causing a laceration behind her ear. Now, the complaint now states that the woman also sustained injuries to her arm and hand and that she was allegedly pushed into the side of a vehicle by Majors. Now, he denied the allegation, so we'll see what happens with that.
You know who we never talk about in situations like this?
Who?
Witches. Because Trump lawyers said it's a witch hunt. Jonathan Majors, people say it's a witch hunt. How do actual witches feel about this? Witches out here just minding their business, okay?
I don't know any witches to ask.
Oh, I know some. Some good ones.
Really?
Oh, I know some good ones.
Where they from?
Don't worry about where they from. Just play with me ever if you want to. Have you coughing up a frog in here?
Yo, shut up, man. And lastly, Tory Lanez is denied a new trial in the Meg Thee Stallion shooting. Now, a Los Angeles judge on Tuesday denied a motion for a new trial from lawyers for rapper Tory Lanez.
Did he say it's a witch hunt?
No, they didn't say it's a witch hunt, but he's convicted of 3 felonies in the December shooting. So now he's waiting for his to see if he faces up to 22 years in prison and faces deportation back to Canada. So we'll see what happens with him. And of course, if you don't remember, his convictions of assault with a semi-automatic firearm, having a loaded, unregistered firearm in a vehicle, and discharging a firearm with gross negligence.
So the judge did not care about those pleas that Tory Lanez was making this week when he was saying, please don't ruin my life.
No, that, I'm could be your brother, your son, your father. No, not at all.
There are consequences to your actions.
Yes, so we'll see what happens, and we'll see how much time he gets. And that is your rumor report. All right, now when we come back, Teslin Figaro will be joining us. We got some front page news, and Bishop T.D. Jakes will be kicking with him in a little bit. So don't move.
This right here, disruptive thinking. Mm-hmm. That's what we're gonna have this morning. A disruptive conversation with Bishop T.D. Jakes. He's got a new book out right now called Disruptive Thinking. I can't wait to talk to him about it.
That's right. It's the Breakfast Club on BET.
Wake that ass up
in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.